Hi everybody, it's Linda. I am back with a flip through of a little golden book Beatles journal. And I don't know if you saw the little short that I put on my channel. It's a little 1-minute video where I had all of the wonderful Beatles stuff laid out. You might have seen that there were 3 little golden books, and I did indeed make 3. One, which is this one, is going into my Etsy shop, and if you're seeing this video, it should be in there now. And then I made one for myself and one for my sister Susie, and it's just a special thing. She and I are both Beatles fans. She's older than I am, and so I was the little sister, and I grew up listening to everything that she loved, I loved. So the Beatles are big for me in my life, and I still have such a love for Paul McCartney in particular, the Beatles in general. I think I could sing every one of their albums, song to song, front to back, from memory. I may not know what I did yesterday, but I know the words to every Beatles song I think almost ever written. So anyway, so that's the why of it. And when I saw that they were putting out this little golden book, I just was so excited. So I don't often make a journal for myself. And my sister loves art and makes beautiful ephemera, but she herself doesn't make journals or journal. And this was one that even she was like, oh yeah, I'd like to have one of those. So anyway, I have a feeling maybe it won't last long. I haven't seen anyone else doing one. So if you are interested in this journal, my Etsy shop is Joyful Makes and Finds. So I'm going to stop gabbing and start showing you. So it is a little golden book. There is underneath this fabric the gold foil, but I did not preserve it in a way that you could, that you'll be able to see it, just so I could make a new spine. And I covered the spine with this music fabric and some vintage rickrack, and I just made a wraparound closure with this fun coordinating ribbon. So this is the back of the little golden book, and as you can see, this is part of a series of little golden books that they've done on people. So there's Taylor Swift and Bruce Springsteen and Julie Andrews, which would be another one I would love, as well as Queen Elizabeth II. That would be a great fun journal. Dolly Parton I love. So they've done a lot of updating and trying to feature some strong women in their little golden books. Beyonce, I did one on Frida. That is one of their newer little golden books. So they're really, it's great to use the vintage little golden books, but these are really fun. And for me, this will just be a keepsake that I will cherish. So I don't know if I'll journal in it. I did think about writing out some of my favorite Beatles songs and their meanings for me, things like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I do. So inside the journal, let me make sure I'm centered. As I said, covered the spine with this music fabric, and then I created a little pocket. And then there's a Made with Love charm with a little fabric strawberry that's kind of a nod to Strawberry Fields Forever. In this embossed musical note envelope, there is a letter from me to you. And so when it comes to Beatles, of course, there are copyright issues. So the only things that I could really use in this journal were things that are marketed to be able to use, not things you copy off of the internet. So I found a Beatles memorabilia pack that they are replicas, and it was on Amazon, I believe, and it was wonderful. And I've included a lot of these original replica pieces in here, but they are fantastic. So this is a set of 3 like trading cards and I just tucked it in here. And this trim is old, very vintage, and to me, it really looks like a vintage guitar strap. So I thought that would be perfect. Okay, so I used, I think, just one digital, and it was an abstract art looking digital, and I will credit it in the description box, but I used it to create this multi-way pocket. And this piece is one of the original replica ephemera pieces. Just absolutely wonderful. I mean, it really feels and looks authentic. This paper is heavyweight, or like a light cardstock. So this tucks into this pocket here, and we've got the Fab Four sticking out there to say hello. And then in this front little pocket here, this is a replica ticket from an actual Beatles concert. And then I put two little ephemera tickets in there just for color and for fun. There's a little bit of trim here. This is another replica piece that is from the official Beatles fan club. It's a special pass for an event, a fan club get-together. And let's see, we'll put that this way. This is a little more of that digital that you can see. And then this piece is fun. As I said, I've always been a Beatles fan, and I used to participate in ATC swaps back in the early 2000s. And this was one that I made. It says the Fab Four. It may be hard to see because it's actually a transparency over a piece of paper. So it is the Beatles on a transparency. It says the Fab Four, and then there's some, I just used some staples for accents along the top. So I made this almost 20 years ago. Okay, so this is the beginning of the little golden book, and it is in its entirety in order and uncut. Here is some avocado dyed paper. This is some coffee dyed and stained or stenciled paper. This is Paul McCartney, and it has information in here about how they started and their young life. And so I thought this paper here looked like something he might be writing down notes as he's playing the piano. And some dyed graph paper. This is a fabric flip that I created. I'm going to get you a little bit closer to this fabric, to the fabrics I used. This is a Kathy Holden fabric, but it's one of my favorites, and this is the first time I've used it, and I thought it was so perfect. It looks like just a crowded venue filled with Beatles fans, doesn't it? And then this is the fabric from the cover and some fun piece fabric. So underneath this is a page, an original page from a Beatles lyric book that I have in my own personal library. So I went ahead and just took some pages out of it. Each one of these, there's 2 signatures in here, and I think there's 4 of these pages. So they are actual pages from a book, and the book outlines every one of their songs and kind of the history behind it. So yeah, here's the back side of that. Some of the pages in the book show their actual handwriting where they wrote out lyrics, which is really special. This is a junk mail envelope with a window. I decoupaged with kind of a colorful napkin. And then I put this image of the Beatles drinking coffee. It says, all you need is love. No, coffee. And I am a coffee lover, and I make coffee journals pretty frequently. So I did have this image that I would always use in my coffee journals. So I wanted to kind of carry it over into my Beatles journals. And then to kind of go with that look that I used on that ATC, I put some staples, just a mix of colored staples into the topper. I thought that was kind of fun. And that slides in there. we cut off a little bit of George, but otherwise you can pretty much see them. And then this is a tuck, and tucked behind it, I just put some embossed music black cardstock in there, just as an element that you can attach some journaling paper to, or decorate, or do kind of whatever you want to do with it. This is that really cool digital that I used, and I will credit it in the description box. This is the center of the first signature. I have a tab here with, there are a lot of charms that I used in these journals. A little music charm there on a bulb pin. And this is a brochure that is from the Beatles memorabilia pack. And then on the signature ties, on this I have some fun beads that kind of match the colors in the journal. And then here's an electric guitar and a piano charm. I hope you can see that. Okay, got great digital. And then this is a CD envelope that I tucked. I also used, I have some old Beatles calendars, and I have, you know, the small square calendars, and I had several of those, and I used pages from that calendar for the journal as well, because those were legal things that I could use. And this is the cover of one of the albums my sister had, the Beatles 62, 66, and then she had this was the red one, and then the blue one was the Beatles 67, 70, and they were older, but looking down the same way. Some of you might be familiar with those albums. They were my favorite. Those were the ones. I think they were 2 album sets. I had them all memorized. But anyway, I digress. I made this. This is one of my favorite rubber stamps that I have had in my collection for a really long time. I made ATCs with it back in the day, but I thought she needed to be in the Beatles journals because she would have loved the Beatles, right? So she's got some glitter on her eyeglasses, and this says groovy, and she's got a bow in her hair and some black lace topper, and she is a huge fan. This is another page from the Beatles lyric book. Here too. And this is George Harrison is joining the group. And they're talking about his early years and the early days of their band. And this is a fabric flip. There are a lot of tabs in this book from some fun coordinating fabrics. And this is what you call woven pockets. It's a nod to Gail Augustinelli. I learned to do these pockets. I don't do them very often anymore. But I thought they were perfect because they are made from, this pocket is made from strips of paper, and they're woven, and what it gives you is 4 little pockets. So I had these little faux stamps, and I thought since there were 4 of them, I would make this woven pocket so each one of them could have their own. So there's John and Paul and George and Ringo. There we go. So that's fun. You could journal on the back of them. This is a little booklet that I put together that just has some spaces for journaling. You could certainly, you know, write about your own memories or experiences from the Beatles music on there. Or this could just be used as a regular daily journal if you wanted. It wouldn't have to be a Beatles keepsake. Okay, and then this last page of the signature, I have this replica of a Beatles game, the Flip Your Wig game. And you can even see this paper's not folded. This is a fold from the game board. So this was a replica of the game board. So it is really entertaining. I thought it was just so fun. You could use it just for a whole lot of journaling. I was going to back it with some lined paper, and I thought, well, I didn't know how you would want to use it. So I thought I would just leave it blank. This is some great vintage trim that I've had in my stash for a long time. Okay, and this is between the two signatures. And this is an actual booklet about George Harrison and it's a several page booklet. Look how adorable. Goodness. What a special person he was, too. He really did a lot for people in his life. I've heard some amazing stories about him. Okay, and I just trimmed this is some tissue paper that I had in my gift wrap box. And then I made a ruffle out of this peace sign fabric, and I put a little bulb pin with some music. It's got a little musical line of music in there. And, okay, so this is the second signature. This has a multi-pocket that I made. Tucked in behind it this is a page from the calendar. I thought it was just so cute that this is a recording studio that this was photographed in front of. And it's just a really large journal card. I put this little tab on the end. And then it's tucked into this multi-pocket page that I made. And honestly, I didn't feel like I did not want to over-decorate. And so I just embossed a set of cards, a set of manila tags in various sizes and tucked them into these pockets. So they are kind of in graduating sizes. Let's see. There we go. And then the smaller one tucked into this belly band. And this belly band has this wonderful little bit of Beatles trim. Can you see this is their images there. And then a rubber stamp from my collection that's All You Need Is Love. Okay, let's make sure we're back in. Okay, so we're carrying on with their story. Here they are writing songs, so I thought putting some loose leaf in there would be a fun thing. This is a yearbook page from a 1970 or 1969, I can't remember, yearbook, but I thought it was very fitting for the times and the fans and things like that. That would be a fun page. This is another page about lyrics. And I made a page tab here, and this is a little bit of a multicolored cantha quilt, and just has some really fun colors. It looks like it could have fit right into the 60s or 70s vibe. This is one of those cards, those trading cards, and I created a tuck out of it, and then this is another replica of a Beatles game, and it's a game that you can play with just paper and dice. So if you can read it, it's clear enough to read. It tells you how to play the game. So I thought that was just really unique. That's tucked in here. This is kind of some vellum-y paper. This is a paper bag that I just kind of covered the ends with this, and then there's some extra ephemera and just some little fun offcuts and things in that pocket. They're not in there yet, but they're going to be. I forgot to put them in there. Okay, and then we'll just carry on. Now we're getting into the Beatlemania phase. And this is going to be here about the center of the signature. This is just a little card that I made. It says Strawberry Fields Forever. I hope you can, I don't know if I need to adjust my lighting at all. I hope the lighting's okay with this video. It's a little different today. And some more of that embossed paper. And then this is the center of the second signature, and I just love this paper. It just reminds me of, you know, what they might have had all over their luggage from traveling all over the world. And these are the charms, or the the signature ties from the second signature, and this one has a microphone. I hope you can, I don't know, there we go. I don't know if you can see. This one has a microphone and beads and a button, and this one has a drum set. So there's an electric guitar, a piano, a drums, and a microphone. I thought, try to use instruments that the Beatles actually used and played, and that kind of, you know, I see a drum set, I think of Ringo and that sort of thing. Okay. All right. And then this is the back side of the paper bag. It's got a little closure with a brad, and inside of here is a tea bag. It is Earl Grey tea. I didn't, was the closest that I had in my tea stash that would remind me of something you might drink in England. I've heard that Earl Grey is the preferred brand or the preferred flavor of Prince William. So I know it is something they drink in England. So there is a tea bag in there, which is, I always have a tea bag in all of my journals if you're new to my videos. And this is a fabric flip. I found this fabric online, and it's got all the different Beatles covers of their albums and stuff on this fabric, and I just attached it to this page, and some wonderful, I'm going to get close so you can see this. I don't know how well. And then this great Beatles trim up there. I just love that. And the lyrics on this page are the words, I read the news today, oh boy, about a lucky man who made the grade. Woke up, got out of bed, dragged a comb across my head. You know, that song. I could be singing all of these songs that are mentioned in this book, so consider yourself lucky. I'm trying just to flip through. So here's a little, the back side of that has got their Sgt. Pepper's. There's a lot of backstory about their Sgt. Pepper days. And this is a little envelope that I embossed, and I put these, sorry, I don't know where, I thought I was there. Some faux postage stamps just kind of tucked in there. And this is some black velvet, and it is vintage actually, black velvet ribbon. And I do sell these little envelopes in my Etsy shop. They're kind of popular. They make perfect little tucks and pockets. Okay, so this is the back side of that yearbook. And we're getting to this is the last page of the little golden book. And in this last pocket here, I collect vintage flashcards. And I have had these Let It Be flashcards in my collection for a long time. So I am letting them go. So I sewed around them and decorated them, and I thought, what this way, let it be. I thought they would just be so much fun in here. And in my journal, I had one, I have a Hard Day's Night, and in my sister's, I have some other, maybe Yellow Submarine, or I don't know, something along those lines. So, and then I just made a little collage here with a little bulb pin that says love. And then this is the very back page, and it's got the same brochure, little booklet for Ringo. So you get Ringo and George, all his vital stats, what makes him tick. So fun in the 60s. It reminds me of those Tiger Beat magazines I used to get back in the 70s. And so that's so fun. So that's just kind of tucked into this back pocket here. And then I put this little Ringo bingo card. I thought that would be really fun. I just covered the B in bingo with an R for Ringo with this charm. And I put a little picture of the Beatles in the little free space. And then you can use this as a large journaling card. You could put more pictures on here and make a collage out of it, or, you know, kind of do whatever you want to do. I just thought it was a fun idea. And then the back, that is the back of the book. I'm going to turn it back over here, show you how these dangles kind of dangle out the bottom. There's some toppers sticking out of the top. There's some charms and tabs that are peeking out of the side. And then it just ties with this ribbon. So you could certainly change the closure if you wanted to, but I didn't want to do anything too permanent in case somebody wanted to add something different to it. So here it is. It is now listed in my Etsy shop, Joyful Makes and Finds. If you're interested, go take a peek. And I appreciate, I'm sorry for how chatty I was during this video, but at least I didn't sing much. I sang the whole time I was making these journals. Drove my daughter a little crazy. My husband just smiled, but I had Beatles songs going through my head, and it was just so much fun. So anyway, thank you for taking time to listen and watch. I would love it if you would like this video. Leave a comment. Tell me if you have fond memories of the Beatles or what your favorite song is. On the little short that I made, the 1 minute short, it is set to my favorite Beatles song. So if you're curious as to what my favorite Beatles song is, go watch that little short. If I can link it in the description box, I will. And I've got spring journals coming and a collaboration with a digital artist who asked me to use his digitals. So they are so beautiful. So I'm going to start working on those spring journals, and I hope to bring you along for a little bit of that journey, more than just the flip throughs. So anyway, that's what's coming. I'm going to stop talking. And I thank you for taking time to watch. Please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Help me grow this year. And send you all so much love. Bye-bye now.